All right. Welcome, everybody, and here we are covering the Season 9 standings and stats and all that stuff. All right, we're going to start with the playoffs. Going to list out everybody and their seeds and who they'll play. Right off the bat, we got number 1 DPS with the first bye. Here he is, 9-2. Same record as Nelson, but he has the head-to-head, so he will be number 1. 6 home wins out of 6 games. That is impressive. If you look at every single team scoring category, he leads. Best offense, best defense. Typical dominant season for him, which is kind of a surprise. I thought he'd have a down year. Everyone else had a down year. He did not. And our second seed will be Nelson, also 9-2. Pretty solid all across the board, He has a good wins over expected rating, I guess, as opposed to DPS, who has a poor one. So he did a little bit better than expected by his points. Next up will be myself in the 3 spot. I have a 7-4 record, one of 3 7-4 records, but I do have the tiebreakers against both of them, Mac and 40. So I'm the top seed to be playing immediately. Yeah, DPS, he doesn't have many down years, Ninja. It's very unfortunate. I'm tired of him, man. Golly! Alright, the 4 seed will be either 40 FPS or Mac, and I do believe Mac has the tiebreaker. Let's make sure, though. Yep, right here he beat 40, so that will give him the 4 seed in the tournament. Alright. 40 says the 3 a.m. bowl. Yeah, I can't believe you guys played that late. That was maybe not the best decision, but you'll get your chance here at redemption. Alright, and to close us out of the playoffs will be Fiddlesticks. He's 6-5. Same record as Ingram here, but he does have the tiebreaker. That game lasted a long time, like 37 minutes without OT. Pretty comical. And that will be your playoffs. Let me make sure. I've already got it here. So myself will host Fiddlesticks. Mac will host 40 FPS. DPS will take on the lowest remaining seed here after the initial round, and Nelson will take on the best. Alright, hero round. That will be first man out, Ingram. He had the best rookie season of all time, which I expected that to be the case because he's played this game, a long time. He's been competitive. He went to Omaha and did well there. So he just missed out and will have the toughest road to get the extra hero pick at the end of the year. And he will be... Oh, yeah. Nelson, I apologize. I forgot how good your rookie season was, sir. My bad. Second best rookie season for Ingram. That was a long time ago, man. Okay, where was I? Let's see. Okay, next will be Ninja here. Tecmo Ninja 5-6. Five and 6 record. Definite down year for him. This is his first year or second year missing the playoffs, I think. I think he missed once before, but it's been a long time. So that's a heavyweight matchup right here. Ingram and Ninja. Not sure who won that in the regular season, actually. All right, the 9 seed. So that will be Dizzy right here. Stupid Google Sheets update. Dizzy. He started off by beating DPS, and let's look at this here. He beat DPS by 1 point, and then lost how many in a row? 7, 6 in a row, and then won 3 out of his last 4. So up and down roller coaster type season, but he's good. He's good. We will cover part of the reason why in a bit when I look at the individual player stats. Okay, so number 10 looks to be Richie Smith. For his offensive setup, I think he did pretty good. Being in the LA playbook with Kevin Mack and Roger Craig isn't the most ideal thing. Kevin Mack, I've said this before, but I think he's the best fullback outside of Daryl Johnston. But Roger Craig is not fast. Still, though, Richie manages 3 wins. A good wins over expected stat. As usual, he usually has a good one. Ninja says this was the toughest competition year ever, and I think I have to agree. It's been a lot of parity this year. Love to see it. 11 will be CBK. I don't want that to be bold. And 12 will be rookie Oltada. He only won 1 game, Oltada did, but he's looked good. He's improved every game. You can just tell by looking. A lot of tough breaks. He could have won a few more games if a few more things went his way. He'll get there. I think he's got a good chance to take this extra hero. There's our playoffs right there. I'll do this later, I guess. This bit right here. So scoring, I think 10.7 points an average is about typical, maybe a little bit lower than usual. Not too many standouts except for DPS. Defensively, there's several teams under the average. Pythagorean wins, this is like pretty crazy how many. There's 2 guys above and 4 below. That's the most we've ever seen, I think. So if it's red, you underperformed. If it's green, you overperformed relative to your scoring. A little shout out here to Dizzy, owning the title belt for the first time ever for him for 3 games, as long as anybody. That's pretty impressive. And Jerry, he's probably the first rookie to ever have it as well. It will stay in the hero bracket, which I'm glad for. All right, you guys ready for some stats? I'm going to be deciding the Pro Bowlers here. I do want to start over on this end, I think. Start with the kick returners. I think the obvious first team All-Pro would be DPS with Dennis Gentry here. 3 touchdowns, I think. There might be more, I don't know. I think he just scored 3. Just scored 3, that's like a ton. 51 return average. It really doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. Just sheer domination, and he beat Jerry once. I mean once, he beat Jerry and shouldn't have pretty much. He scored a last second return touchdown. It was heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking. So yeah, definite first team All-Pro. He's going to be in the MVP race, let me tell you right now. Okay, 40 says he had 3 returns of over 100 yards, but none of them were touchdowns. I think he had a 102-yarder that didn't score. That's hard to believe. Well, he didn't need them, obviously. So if he did, that would be 6 touchdowns if he scored on those. Oof. Okay, second team All-Pro. It's a little tougher. If we sort by averages real quick. There's Ingram, there's Oltada, there's myself. I had a disappointing year with James Jefferson. He's really fast, but I just didn't have any big breaks with him. I think I'll award second team All-Pro to, I think, Phil McConkey. Obviously, he's the best punt returner in the league every year, but statistically, most returns, most yards, a really respectable average for how bad of a player he is. Yeah, cold ass McConkey. He's got a really good offensive line, that helps, but I think he gets second team All-Pro here. Now for the regular Pro Bowls, I think I'll just make it easy on myself and go Tim Brown. He had a really good return average. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of looking at Levette here. It's tough. But I think I'll go him, and I think I'll go McNeil for Oltada. Just a lot of volume here. So I think that'll be it for those guys. Actually, let me revert it here. I don't want to mess up something on the left side. We got some sensitive formulas over there. I'm afraid I'll mess up. Who did I say? I said these guys. All right. Punter. So what I'm looking here mostly is this in-20 percentage. The higher, the better. There's a lot of guys with around the same number here. Touchbacks are also, they're bad, so you don't want that. Sort it this way first. Okay, Roan Stark, his touchback percentage was a little high. Greg Coleman, I don't know, he was out of 20 percentage. This is kind of tough. Tough category here. I think I'll probably give it to... I'll probably give first to Roan Stark. Or is it Ron Stark? You told me last time, Nelson, if it was Roan or Ron. I think it's just Ron. It's got an H in there for some reason, though. But I think I'll give him first team selection. And second team, Roan like Cone. Okay. That'll be one of his nicknames I'll put on his individual player page. I'll debut those in a couple weeks, by the way. I think you guys will like that, the individual player pages. But I'll give it to Greg Coleman for second team. His in-20 percentage was slightly lower, but he's got a better touchback percentage. I think he is a worthy selection there. Vince's cousin or brother, something like that. Okay, Pro Bowlers. Ninja says, I had a few badass punt games. One, me and Ben were punting each other inside the 5 to 10. I remember that. I remember that game. That was a good one. I think I'll give Pro Bowls to... I think Cox will get one here. Solid in 20 percentage. These two stats aren't too bad. And for the next Pro Bowler... I don't know, Landetta had too many touchbacks, way too many touchbacks, I think. Let's give it to Roby. Okay, kicker. Kicker's going to be tough as well. This has been a difficult year to decide. Oh yeah, real quick, here's the safeties. Jerry was just standing in the end zone. I think his controller malfunctioned, DPS. It was against DPS. DPS was a good sport and took one as well. And this game, Richie punted the ball on the 1. I saw it happen live. He punted the ball to like the 1. CBK tried to return it, and he made a move on the first defender to get there, and he got dove on. Next play was a play pick. I had a safety just like that against CBK last season, or the season before. I think it was last season. Except it took 2 play picks to get the safety. But anyways. Kickers. Let me make sure this stuff's not messed up real quick. It looks good to me. Okay. Kicker is a tough one. What I like to look at is the percentages and the total points and distance per attempt. Whoops. Distance per attempt is basically how long on average your kicks are. Your made kicks are, excuse me. So immediately it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, Bayasucci, yeah. And then just saying Bayasucci got an extra point off against Carl Banks, which is really, really impressive. And he's got the league leading percentage here. And the best field goal percentage. Yeah, I think first team All-Pro got to be Dean Bayasucci. Very impressive here kicking. He didn't miss a field goal. Almost perfect on extra points. A lot of total points here. So he will get the nod. Second team All-Pro. I mean, I see Rich Carlos here. But that's kind of a misleading stat right here because he had so many attempts in the first place. And look at this. Not even a 30% on the extra points. You don't see that very often. Yeah. Nelson points out to me that his kicker was almost perfect on field goals anyways. Roger Uzek, he's pretty good. This is tough. Then there's Norm Johnson. He's also up there. Sheesh. Watervey. Pretty close, pretty close. See, I went through this beforehand. I forgot who I selected. I think Ruzek's as good as anybody here. I think I'll give him the nod. Pro Bowlers, I think Norm Johnson, his average isn't like extremely good, and he didn't have much volume, but he didn't miss any kick, and he had the second best extra point percentage. So I think Norm Johnson is a Pro Bowler. And the other Pro Bowler should be Kevin Butler, looking pretty good. Shoot, he might have been who I selected for the second team in the first place. Let's look here. Let's compare. His average is really good. Extra points pretty good. 52 overall points. Sheesh, I think I'll give... See what you guys are saying here. I think I'm going to swap these. And then if I were to do an honorary fifth teamer, it would be Chuck Nelson. His field goal percentage isn't great, but his average is really high. And he was decent on extra points. Tough year. There's going to be some snubs, and I apologize for that. All right, on to the big boys. We're going to do quarterbacks first, I think. And the obvious first team would be Jim McMahon of the Bears. saying 2 of his field goals went through the crossbar. Yeah, man, I hate when that happens. That's definitely disappointing. But first teamer, Jim McMahon. Rushing stats are decent. But the passing stats, I mean, look at this. 14 touchdowns to 1 pick. That is really good managing the football. Didn't take too many sacks. You know, it's like moderate amount. Obviously less than 1% interception rate. That might be a record that'll stand for a while. Quarterback rating super high. This is like the 3rd highest of all time. The only knock against him is his yards per attempt is the lowest in the league by oh no, hold up. CBK's is lower. But it's really low. I think that's just a symptom of the Indy playbook. But yeah, Jim McMahon, first team. I'd say MVP favorite probably, but that will be decided later. Second team for the quarterbacks. Okay, I'm going to look at quarterback rating first and foremost. Okay, there's a lot of good guys up here. I'd say this is probably the cutoff point. I think second team, I'm going to go with Jay Schrader with Ingram. Rushing stats, not great, not good. But the passing stats, he's got a 3-to-1 touchdown pick ratio. He's got a good amount of yards. Solid yards per attempt there, and really high average. Though, I mean, if you look at Montana's better in all those categories except for the picks and the yards. I don't know. He doesn't have as many touches or passes. His rushing yards are obviously better. I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments or the chat? I mean, Montana or Schrader? It's really close. You also got to remember that Montana was throwing to Andre Reed and Jerry Rice as opposed to Schrader. He had good targets, but not as good, obviously. And let's be honest, Jay Schrader benefited from the curl routes quite a bit. So, any thoughts? We got one for Montana. I don't know, man. It's kind of rough. Nelson also says Montana. Okay, I think that's probably enough to sway my vote. It's really close. I mean, 2-to-1 versus 3-to-1 is the main argument. All right. That'll give Jay Schrader Pro Bowl. Now, the last Pro Bowl, it's going to be between Phil Simms and Mark Rippon. Both have 2-to-1 ratio, similar yards. Phil Simms is more efficient with his snaps, both rushing and passing slightly. I think I might have to go with Phil Simms here. I don't know though, because I mean 12 touchdowns is obviously better than 6 touchdowns. That's another close one. Sheesh. Better at taking sacks. And you also have to remember that Mark Rippon is in a 3-pass playbook, so it's more on his shoulders than it is with Phil Simms. He's got Thurman Thomas to hand it off to. I think I'll give it to Mark Rippon. It's really close, though. Really close. Like I said, man, there's going to be some snubs out here. Potential snubs. All right, and the running backs. The immediate first team All-Pro. Second easiest decision so far is going to be Eric Dickerson. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers, man. He crushed the yardage record right there. That's just crazy. I can't believe that. 1,400 yards in 11 games. That's insanity. Second team, I will admit I'm slightly biased, but I think I'm going to give it to Herschel Walker. He's got 8 touchdowns. That's 3 more than anybody else. You know, that's a decent average there, but he's got a lot of volume as well. I think Herschel Walker will get the second team spot. Third team, or one of the Pro Bowls will be Joe Morris. He got a lot of yards on a really good average, decent amount of touchdowns for his quality of player, for how good a player he is. He did really well. The last spot, I think I'm going to give it to Bo Jackson with Ingram yet again. Really high average. Good amount of touchdowns. I mean, look up here, Roger Craig. He has a crazy average, but he just doesn't have the carries and total yards or touchdowns. So, Bo Jackson it is. All right. I think that about covers this stream. Unless I'm forgetting something, I will give ample opportunity for someone to remind me of something. I could go ahead and construct the Pro Bowl roster in like one image. Guess I can do that. Talk about who's on the is this it? No, this isn't it. There it is. Okay, ignore that for now. Jay Schrader and Mark Griffin. So for the how I'm gonna do the MVP voting is I'll just select a couple standouts from this team here. So like no more than 2 per position. It just depends on how good they are. I think they're relative to the rest of the league. You know what I'm saying? Like I could put like 3 kickers in there if I felt the need to. It's not really set in stone. And then of course we're gonna have the Coach of the Year voting, which expands the whole league. Anybody is eligible to be voted for that. These votes will take place over, I don't know, I'll probably just send out DMs asking pretty quick. Everybody in the league gets a vote, and it's a lot of fun to think about this stuff and put it together. It's something, something else to do while playoffs are going on. It's a real fun time of the year. I gotta do the eye test crap here. I'll do that last. Might actually do that off stream, I don't know. Because I haven't noticed any particular standouts. For offensive linemen necessarily. I think I would put one of my own linemen in there. Roger Ruzek. Oh yeah. For those watching on YouTube afterwards, we're gonna have this sheet here, the schedule sheet, in the descriptions of future videos for you guys to check out. It's publicly accessible. Just a little bit of depth to the league. my man Cone Stark here. Maybe in the future we can have some audience input on this kind of stuff. That would be kind of cool. Just have to think of the logistics of that. So, dang it, I keep doing that. Playoffs shouldn't last more than a couple weeks. Then we might take a little time off to do a little tournament or something. We got season 10 coming up. That's a big deal. I wouldn't mind making a ROM with the best teams in league history and writing an article about that in honor of it. Subtle TB music in the background. What do you mean, Nelson? I don't think I've got any music running right now, do I? I hope not. Or should I put some in the background? Okay, so receivers, all-pro receivers and all-pro linemen, it's kind of tough. I want to give my guy, no do it. Okay, sir. Do it. Do it now. I'll just put this on loop, I guess. I'll have it real quiet. Pardon the PlayStation ad here. How's that volume? Oh, I have the desktop muted. Okay, how's that sound? It's about as quiet as it gets. Okay, so offensive lineman, I kind of forgot the name of my guy. Tim Irwin, I think. Second team, I think it would be fair to put like one of Eric Dickerson's dudes on there. Because, I mean, just kind of thinking about it here. Who's CJ center? Okay, Ray Donaldson, that's an easy choice. That's the center wreaks havoc on the San Francisco playbook. That might be something worth film breakdown in the future. Okay, receivers, that's also tough. It's hard to say here. None of those guys, none of those guys, none of those guys. Mark Bavaro, perhaps. He got some pretty big gains. Steve Largent also did well. It's hard to, I don't know how well Andre Reed and Jerry Rice did. I could put them both on there, honestly. I think I want to give Leo Lewis a Pro Bowl, though. He got the ball a ton with Jerry. I'll also put... tough. So Andre Reed in the Cleveland playbook. That playbook isn't great for having good receivers, so I think I'll skip them over. I'll put Steve Largent down here. Mark Bavaro. Put Gary Clark. Just for the hell of it, you know. In the future, we might be getting receiver stats, which would make this a lot easier. Not sure. Okay, so DPS, let's start with him. He's got 2 first-team All-Pros. And I think that's it. Okay, Mac. He's got Dean Basucci. He's got Joe Morris as a Pro Bowler. Joe Montana as a second-team All-Pro. Elmer's no longer in the league, so I need to grab this real quick. Ingram has Pro Bowler Leo Lewis. Is that it? He's got Bo Jackson as a Pro Bowler too. Tim Brown as a kick returner. That's 3 Pro Bowlers. He's doing pretty good for himself. I think that's it. Tata. I'm gonna have to pull up rosters. Tata, Steve Argent Pro Bowl. Gerald McNeil Pro Bowl. I think that's it for him. Richie. Pro Bowler O lineman. And that'll be it for him. Actually, he's got Phil Simms as a Pro Bowler. Or not Phil, yeah, Phil McConkey as a second-team All-Pro. Richie says, missed Elmer in our league. Actually met him finally in CT, Connecticut. I liked Elmer a lot. I'm very disappointed he's gone. But I do understand. Nice guy, really nice guy. Okay, myself. First team All-Pro. O-lineman. He was a menace on run 1. Second team All-Pro, Herschel Walker. I think that'll do it for me. Yep, pretty sure. Dizzy. Eric Dickerson, first team All-Pro. Jay Hilgenberg, US edition. Hold on a minute. He didn't have Roan start, did he? Nope. CBK. I put Gary Clark second team All-Pro for him. Fiddlesticks. Did he have anybody? Bavaro first team. Bavaro first team All-Pro, yeah. Nelson. Solid year for Nelson. I guess after this I'll go over my thoughts on Coach of the Year and call it a night. Nelson. I don't think he had anybody, did he? Yeah, Roger Uzek. Pro Bowler there. Solid. Yeah, he had quite a bit of INTs. That's for sure. It'll happen. He had a lot of touchdowns too. It's okay. Ninja, do you have anybody? I don't think he did. Actually, Cox. Position is he again? Punter. .40 FPS. He had Pro Bowl lineman. Let me look here. Sorry. Okay, Mark Rippon. Pro goal lineman. I think that's it for him. Okay. Okay, well, that's the ballot from last year, by the way. If you guys wanted to see that real quick, just, you know, take a picture of it. Punter. Oh yeah, punter. Second team All-Pro punter. My bad. Alright, I'll go over my Coach of the Year thoughts. So, in my mind, there's only a few candidates. You know, true candidates would be, starting from the bottom, Ultada. He battled well for a rookie. Excuse me. He looked better than his record and stats might indicate. DPS, obviously the most dominant player of the year. His knock is wins over expected being negative. He should have won more games. So I don't know about that, about him getting the award or not. Richie had the most wins over expected, so that, you know, puts him in a position. Nelson, same record as DPS, except he overachieved. Threw a lot of picks though. And 40 FPS, most improved. This is his first winning record ever, and he had a solid campaign. So those are my thoughts on the Coach of the Year voting. Playoffs don't have any, they shouldn't have any say in this. You know, that's not the intention. It's a regular season award. So that will, this right here will set up our playoffs. That are our matchups right there. Is there anything else, anybody? I don't think there's anything else to cover, really. Almost on to season 10. These playoffs ought to be something else, man. It's gonna be close. I have no idea who's gonna win it. Richie says Nelson should probably get it. Yeah, he's one of the guys I'll think about voting for. I don't think I'm a candidate myself. I've got a horrible wins over expected. Nelson, no need to be so humble. You earned a bye. That's pretty big. That's pretty good. Well, I think that'll do it. Yeah, the hero bracket, and talk about that briefly. I don't know who's going to win that either. Ingram could win it, Ninja could win it, Dizzy could win it, Richie could win it, Ultada could win it. I mean, anybody could win it. It's crazy. Can't wait. Alright, but I think that'll do it. Merry early Christmas, everybody, and be safe. Good luck during the playoffs. I wish everybody the best of luck. And that'll do it for me. Thank you for watching.